We wanted to welcome you all today, March 27th. Feels like we've gone through half the year with everything that's going on in the world right now. Days are going slow, but we're excited to have you at this webinar, and it's probably a pretty good time with the quarantines that are going on and just kind of the slower work schedules to do a webinar and to show you our new product called the SynQ Prox. Before we get started, we just want to wish you all well. We hope everyone is healthy and safe. We know a lot of people say that, but we really are genuinely concerned and hope everything's going well for you. Today we're excited. I'm really excited. This product that we have, we've been working on for a little while now, and it is awesome. It's a big-time game changer. I say that about every single product that we show. This one, we were fortunate enough to be able to go to Fence Tech here in Salt Lake before they started shutting down all the trade shows, and at Fence Tech it was a really big hit. We had planned to show it at ISC West, but that show was postponed until the summer, and we will still be showing it at ISC West. But you're going to get the first glimpse at, well, I guess the second, because we already did it at Fence Tech. And real quick, before we go on, I got a new do. I'm feeling pretty fresh, so if you guys want to comment and just tell me, hey, Quinn, looking good, your hair looks nice. It really gives me a lot of confidence while I'm on stage so that I can perform at a higher caliber. You guys, as the audience, you know what I'm looking for, okay? So just go ahead and comment. But if you have any questions while we're going through this, Alex is on the computer, and he monitors the questions. He reads them to me, and then I'll answer them. If I don't know, like I always say, I'll either just straight up lie to you, or I'll find out and let you know later. For real, I will find out and let you know later. But we're excited to show you this. So the goal here is to give you as much information in as little amount of time, okay? We don't want to hold you up. We know you have jobs to go to, but we want to give you enough information to where while you're out driving around, while you're bidding jobs, doing your sales pitches, doing installations, you can think, where can the SynQ Prox be applied? What's an application for it? What's the customer look like? How does it work? We want to break it down so it's super simple and you can be like, oh man, I can put this here. To be honest with you, I think by the end of this webinar, you're going to see that the way that we've built and engineered this product, the goal is for you to basically install them on any project you have because the cost is so inexpensive and the upside is so big, okay? So here it is in all its glory, okay? This is the SynQ Prox. This is just the board, okay? And this is what you get. This will be shrink wrapped, okay, when you order the SynQ Prox product. We don't even need to zoom in. There's nothing on this board that you need to see. I'm going to tell you the important things that you need to know. So this is extremely small. The dimensions are on the data sheet on the website, which I'll show you here in just a minute. And it's got just a couple of wires. It's got your data wires, data 0, data 1, your power wires, okay, 12 volt DC, 12 through 24 volt DC. And then the wires that we've taped up, and this was just, we taped them up just so they wouldn't be in the way when we were testing it on some stuff, is this also does RS-485, which is a more popular technology that you might have heard of called OSDP. This is already ready for OSDP and can be used on access control systems that use OSDP. So here's how you have to think about this product. What this product now does is for very, very inexpensive, and again, we don't talk about cost on webinars, but I can promise you, you will be blown away by the price. This device can now be wired in parallel with your existing data wires. So for instance, on this door, this is a Wiegand keypad card reader that had the wires running to it, your typical wires, data 0, data 1, power, and for a card reader, you're going to have LED and buzzer. Okay, and then door position and all that stuff. But you already have the existing wire. So if you come to a job that is using physical credentials, and you want to be able to pitch them the ability to now add on top of the physical credentials, the SynQ Prox virtual credentials, you can sell them this board, install it behind this reader, up here, wherever your wiring is running. You can put this right in line. You don't have to remove anything. The hardware stays exactly the same. The physical credentials operate exactly the same. And their access control panel stays the same. So all of the expensive cost items You're not replacing or exchanging. All you're doing is adding this product on and now giving any wiegand access control system the ability to add virtual credentials for very, very inexpensive. You take this off, you'd install this behind it, and now you tell them, Mr. or Mrs. Customer, now using your exact same access control panel, I can send you now virtual credentials with a facility code and serial number that you'll add to your access control the same way you would if you handed them a bundle of cards or fobs, and they're going to be able to use it now on their phones through our SynQ Prox app, which we'll show you. Pretty dang cool, okay? It's something that we feel should be as an installer pitch to every single site. Here's what we think about virtual credentials. Physical credentials are extremely popular. Right now, they're everywhere, right? That's what people use. That's the only option they have. And most most sites, properties, businesses, storage units, whatever it may be, are worried for good reason to totally take out the physical credentials. That would probably be a bad move, right? But this gives you the ability to say, look, no stress, keep your physical credentials. Also no stress, you don't have to learn a new system. If you're using whatever, name a manufacturer access control panel, you still use that software. You don't have to learn a new access control panel. I'm going to put this in, you'll still use physical credentials, and now you have virtual credentials for anybody that wants them, all because of this inexpensive product. Okay? SynQ Prox, we're super excited. So we actually have it installed on this door. There is an electric strike installed here, the card reader, the SynQ Prox board, right in line with this card reader, and again, it works with any wiegand access control system. Also know that we are building and almost completed with the ability to do standalone. So you can also do standalone if there's not existing access control there. But most installations will have access control. You'll add this right in line with their Data 01 and Power, and now they have virtual credentials, okay? So super cool, extremely, extremely cool. So what we did is we have a card reader. It can be anybody's card reader. This just happens to be ours. You wire it in line with that card reader, and now all of the unlock, lock, everything that happens now is done at the access control panel. The only thing that the SynQ Prox software is going to do, which we're going to show you, is assign virtual credentials with a facility code and serial number to a person. Then they go put it in their access control system, and they're done. Really nothing on their end changes, but now they have the awesome ability to give virtual credentials, okay? Any questions so far? Hopefully I did it justice. I'm so excited about this product. It meshes both worlds of the physical and the virtual without losing either, right? That's the important thing. A lot of our competitors are saying, if you want virtual credentials, you have to switch out your access control panel to ours. That's expensive, very expensive. If you want virtual credentials, you have to change out the card reader. Also expensive. Ours, hey, don't change out anything. Just let me add this. I'll be out here in 30 minutes, and now you have it. I will let you know that we are in the process. We will eventually have, if you want a card reader, this built into a card reader, okay? So that'll be something that we have as well. But this is what we have right now, and it's going to work on any application you can find. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into the software. I want to show you the software because it's really easy. We made it very simple, but powerful. So let's go ahead and show it to you. Just so you know, with everything we do, this product, the data sheet, can be found on our website. We'll be adding the manuals either today or Monday. And I'll show you where you can find the manuals now. But if I'm at transmittersolutions.com, SynQ Prox mobile credentials. Someone said it's awesome. Josh, thanks, man. Thanks for saying this is awesome. If you want to comment on my haircut and how awesome I look, that'd be nice too. Thanks, Josh. Okay, so you can click here, and right now we've got the data sheet. And again, we'll upload the manuals. The manuals are done. We've got the data sheet where you can see the dimensions. You can get some pictures of the app and just get some basic information on the wiring and all of that stuff. Okay, again, pretty simple. But that's on our website, transmittersolutions.com. We have this, just so you know, we have this all running through our PAL access control, so you'll see the log once we start triggering the door and I show you the app. But our website, syncprox.com, app.syncprox.com, which is showing here, okay? app.syncprox.com, okay? It says point guard. just disregard that. It's app.syncprox.com. And that will get you to this website where you're going to get a login. You can create a login from the website. I'm already logged in, and then you have this very simple to use dashboard. So just so you can know, let's explain how this is going to break down for you as the installing dealer. You as the installing dealer, you're going to have your dashboard. You can see we only have a couple options off to the left-hand side. That's on purpose. We do not want this to be confusing. We want it, the whole point behind this software is to create the virtual credential, assign them, and be done. Then everything else is done in the existing access control panel that they already have on the property. Okay? So you've got a couple options. You've got your dashboard, you've got your companies. Companies is where you as the installer are going to add all of your customers. 1, 2, 3 apartments, ABC storage, transmitter solutions, wherever you installed these, you're going to create a company for. So you will see a complete list of all your companies. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and create a company right now, top right-hand corner. Create a company. Company ID can be whatever you want it to be. So we'll just do that. Okay. Max offline hours. I got asked this question by somebody on the phone, and so I'm going to explain it because it's actually a really cool feature. The question was, Quinn, what happens if someone has a virtual credential? Let's use an apartment complex, for example. Someone has a virtual credential, and they move, okay? They move, and they have the virtual credential, and before they move, and before the person can delete them from the SynQ Prox or from their access control software, they put their phone in airplane mode, okay? Which would make it so it's not talking to servers. Airplane mode meaning it's not connected to the internet, it's not connected to Wi-Fi, it's not connected to anything. Then in some of our competitors, it would never check in with the server, so it would never know to delete that card. Max offline hours is where you can say, hey, after a certain amount of time, if that person's phone is not checked in with the SynQ Prox servers, do not allow that to work. As soon as they sync back up with our servers and it's an active card, they're good to go. Now, the other way you could do it that I told them is just as easy is you could just delete them from your access control software, right? At the end of the day, the access control on the property is what has making all of the calls for what's going through. We're just taking a physical card and putting it on your phone to talk to your existing access control, okay? The company name, we're going to name it, we'll just call it ABC, ABC Test Co. Status is active. You can change that. You can disable it at any time. So if they don't pay you or something like that, you can disable it. So even if it's saved in their access control, their cards won't work because you've disabled them from the SynQ Prox. So you have full flexibility to do whatever you want. You can shut them down instantly if you want to. We'll just do 1, 2, 3 test. The dealer code is important. I'm going to make this ABC, and you can make that whatever you want, but the dealer code is basically how you tie everything back, and also you can use that dealer code. We give you the ability in the app, if you are a dealer / installer, to lock down your devices. So if another installer comes to one of your sites that you've installed SynQ on, they cannot mess with your settings in that hardware. They can't adjust the power. They can't set any of the information that they would be able to usually on a site that they've installed. You can lock it down so that when you get there, any adjustments you want to make, you have to put in your dealer code, basically a password that says, okay, yep, this is theirs, okay? So you can lock your sites down so people can't come in behind you and steal jobs from you, okay? So again, another really cool feature. Finish filling this out. Press create. And now I have a company. So this is, again, going to be one of your job sites where you've installed this, okay? And you'll have a list of all of those. Now, the other button that you have is users. You can come in here and create a user. And this is also how your customers are going to create their users and assign cards. So before I create a user, let me go back to the company, and I'll show you how we assign cards. So I've got ABC Test. Let's say ABC Test Co. is a site. It's a business where I installed a couple of SynQ Prox devices, and they ordered 10 virtual cards. Okay, I've pulled up their company detail, and you can see down here at the bottom it says add block. Looks like we have a question.
Does it remove it from the sync site? What happens if I'm on a trip where my phone needs to be in airplane mode or turned off?
Okay, so that's a good question. The question was, what happens if I'm on a trip where I need to have my phone turned off or in airplane mode? So the max offline hours makes it, the reason behind that is to stop people who are trying to mess with the system. So if you have to get on a plane and turn your phone off, and it's off, let's say it's a long flight, it's 8 hours. You get home from out of the country, you turn your phone off of airplane mode. As soon as it syncs back up with the server, as long as your card is still good, you're allowed in. All we're doing is looking for cards that are not allowed in anymore with that max offline hours. So you can have your phone on airplane mode for 5 days. As soon as you turn it back off airplane mode, if you have a max offline hours set, as soon as it syncs back up with the servers, you're in. It's not deleting anybody. It's just looking for people who have been deleted that are trying to circumvent the system to get in. Does that answer your question, Sam? Good question. Good question. Yeah, it does all of that in the background, so you don't have to worry if someone keeps their phone off for a week and then turns it on and tries to get into the building, as long as they're still an active user, they will be let in. Now, if someone who has their phone off for a week is not an active user, turns their phone on and tries to get in the building, it won't work. Okay? Good question. I'm going to go ahead and add a block of cards, and we have made this so customizable for you on the format that you can set for the cards. Most people are going to do a standard HID 26-bit virtual credential, right? But there are systems where people want to would like to make their cards 37-bit or something like that. You have full customization to make these cards do whatever the heck you want them to do, okay? So you can set the starting card number, the total amount of cards. So what I would do here is the starting card number is going to be like, that's going to be your serial number. So I'd be 1,000. Let's just say I'm starting at 10,000, okay, is my starting. This site wants 10 total cards, okay, and you can do as many of these as you want. You could do 10,000 cards. You could do 100 cards, whatever it is. But this site wants 10 cards. So now what that's doing is it's taking the starting card number and it's just going to go 10,001, 10,002, 10,003 automatically and drop them in. Now you're going to do your wiegand bits. We're doing just standard 26-bit. Facility code I don't care about, so I'm just going to keep 0. And then DSX has a really nice card formatting sheet that you can look at so you can see all of the other information that you need to set. So we're looking at the wiegand 26-bit. So you can see all of the other information you need. Honestly, we're going to have these in templates so you can easily set what you want. But people who are into some pretty heavy access control stuff, this is very important information for you. Most people are going to do the same 26-bit thing, okay? So you go through all of that information, you click Save Block, and I'll show you. If I look here at Transmitter Solutions, and then it's going to show that block. So you can see I've got quantity 1 card for the fence tech that we did, added on March 2nd, 2020, and then 1,000 cards, which out of those 1,000, 991 are remaining that I can use, also added on March 2nd, and I can void that block at any time, right? So you have full control of your site and their cards, and their numbers are going to, you can see their next key. So let's go ahead and do this now. So if I go in and I add a user, so now this is going to be how you as a dealer, if you're going to be adding users for your customer, or how your customer will add users to generate a card for that user. I'm going to create a user, and I'm going to create Alex Hartman. Alex is active. You could deactivate him if you wanted to. Solutions.com. And now I can select what company Alex is going to be going to. So if I wanted to add him to Transmitter Solutions webinar, I could, but I'm just going to add him to the Fence Tech that we had. Okay. And now I have a couple different options here. This user manages access at their company. This user is a licensed reseller, and this user is a technician. Let me explain what each of these does. If this was just going to be a simple user, all they are is, let's say, a tenant at a building, you will not check any of these. Okay? You will not check any of these. If this user is the apartment manager or the business owner or the storage facility maintenance guy or whatever, basically if they need access to this web portal to administer and create and disable virtual credentials, you would check this box. This user manages access to their company. What this is doing then is sending them an email to sign up for the SynQ Prox web portal. And then they would log into their portal, and they are only going to see their site, which you have shared with them. Okay? Anybody else, well, not anybody else, but installers and dealers, if you click this user as a licensed reseller, that means you're giving access to another dealer to administer the account. So you would log in here. Let's say it's someone else in your company. You would create them, you'd click that button, and then they would have a login to any sites that you shared with them. Okay? And they would also have on their app a little gear icon, which we'll show you here in just a minute, which allows them to adjust the power range of the device so they can turn it up and down based off how much range they want to get out of it. They can set a dealer code to lock down the device so someone can't come in from behind them and start messing with their installation. Bunch of other stuff. They basically have the app with the installer features added. Okay, so this gives them a link to a web portal as well to create one. If I just click this user is a technician. The technician is not getting an email. They do not get access to the web portal, but their app will have the installer features on it as well. So they can set range and do all the stuff that they would need to do in the field. So this is what dealer owners are going to give their technicians. Most of their technicians are not going to need web portal access, but they do need the features on their app to be able to customize that unit in the field. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. So I'm going to say he's going to have both. He's going to have the app features and be a licensed reseller. I'm going to create Alex, and I've created Alex under my companies, okay? So again, we can go into Alex's details and we can see Alex here. Now, what we can also do with Alex is we can now assign a card to Alex. And you can set the card number. So if you have a block of the cards that you've purchased, which again, if we go back to Fence Tech, which is who Alex belongs to. So this would say like ABC Apartments, and then you could apply that. I can easily just say assign new card, yes, add it. And it's going and it's grabbing the next sequential card in line that I have. Or I can type in a card that is in my block, but I may not want it to be sequential. I may want to choose a special card for Alex. And you can apply that for Alex, okay? So you're able to do all of those things. You have full customization. And now it would say I have 900, I think we had 991 cards available. Fence Tech, I would now have 990. So what you've now done is you've made Alex Hartman have the card 12355. That's the serial number for his card. And this number now is what would be put into the existing access control under Alex Hartman's name for, let's say they have Door King, Linear, HID, I don't care what access control they have. You'd go in and you'd create a user, Alex Hartman. His physical credential is maybe 12345, and his virtual credential is 123455. Either way, they're just showing in the access control report is Alex Hartman, okay? Scanned his badge. So that's what's so nice about it. It's just like you're giving them a bundle of virtual credentials. They still have to added into their existing access control like they've done physical credentials. It's the same exact process. All we're doing in our software is giving them that number, okay? So you can go through and assign those numbers. You're also going to be able to, once you've assigned all of these people, you'll be able to export the information, the name of the person and the serial number, so that you can import that easily into your access control. Okay? Again, the goal of this, here's how you have to think about this software. You can do a lot of stuff with it, okay? You can grant web portal access to people. You can share web portal access. You can see all of your customers. But the goal of this software is to say, this is where you give your users the facility code and serial number for their card. And now you're going to add it into your existing access control portal. That's all we're doing in this software. And again, it's super, super simple. So you can go through, add cards, and you're all done, okay? Then you'll take that list of cards, you'll go add it to your access control, and now you're done. Any questions on the web portal? And again, we want people to sign up. Sign up, go in, play around with this a little bit. Get to know it. It's super simple. It looks like we have a question.
Can I put that card on multiple phones, tablets, and devices?
Another good question. The question is, can I put this card on multiple phones, tablets, and devices? No, you cannot. And we've done that on purpose. Major security risks if you're able to have this on numerous phones or tablets at one time. But with that being said, the way that our pricing is going to be done is that, let's say Quinn has, let's stick with Alex actually. Alex has card 12355, I think was his card. Alex has a phone. Alex has a crazy night one night and loses his phone. Alex is not that type of guy, but we'll pretend he is. Loses his phone, has to go get a new phone. That card is tied to his, can be, because it's Alex and it will be the same email address as Alex, and his phone is now gone, it can be reused on Alex's new phone. But if Alex was to find his old phone, he couldn't give his old phone to his buddy and they could both be using it. It can only reside on one device at a time, okay? So it's locked down really tightly that way because we don't want people sharing them. We don't want people messing with the system. If they have multiple devices, if let's say someone complains, well, I want to be able to carry around my tablet, my phone, and have it on each, then you have to buy 2 cards, right? You have to buy 2 virtual credentials. Does that answer your question, Josh? It's like if someone's given a card, they can't go share with their buddies, right? A physical card, they can't share with their buddies. It's just like this, but it's on their phone. Alex doesn't have any buddies though, so he doesn't have anyone to share it with. Okay, good question. Okay, so again, please go to the website, app.syncprox.com, sign up, play around with it. I think you'll see it's very simple, and just the ability for you as an installer to go to every single site and to say, hey, look, I know you've talked about virtual credentials. A lot of the options out there are very expensive. Not just expensive, but can be hard to install. I've got the device now, it's perfect for you. The device hardware is so inexpensive that sites will be crazy not to just add it even if they're not going to use it because it's so inexpensive. But then it's just so user-friendly and simple, and they don't have to change anything on their existing access control. Nothing, not a thing, not even the card reader, okay? So let me show you the app now, and this is, I wish we had a better way to show this to you, but it'll be quick. So I've got the app, it's called SynQ Prox, iPhone or Android, okay? And on my SynQ Prox, I have a site called Fence Tech, going back to the old Fence Tech. Let's say that I lived at, we'll just say Fence Tech is the name of the apartments. Let's say I live at Fence Tech Apartments, and I also go to a gym that uses SynQ Prox. I would have another icon down here that said SynQ Prox Gym. So if I click on this, it's going to have however many cards I have for that place. Most people are just going to have one, right? One card, and you can see it's the Fence Tech demo door, and I can see that door. In the bottom right-hand corner, there's an icon that tells you the range that you have. We have tested the range. It is really, really good. In the left side, there's a little gear icon This is all of the installer tools that you have, where you can set the name, you can set the power level, you can set your dealer code, you can set a site code so you can lock people down. That's not the way to say it. It's not that you can lock people down. You can protect yourself as a dealer and make sure to differentiate all of your different sites that you have the sync stuff enabled on. Okay, so you can do all of this. A typical user is not going to see this. This is for the dealer. So if it's a typical user, they're not going to have that little gear icon. Again, that was what we showed in the software. You can decide that. So I've got my phone, Fence Tech Demo Door. It shows my serial number, my card. It shows my strength level. And I also have a button right here, which is very unique to us, where if you have a high security place, we can do card plus PIN. You can also do PIN here. So if you have a system that wants to see card and PIN, our virtual card does that, card and PIN. So this is where you type in the PIN and send it. I'll show you here. I'm just going to do the card. The card sends out. I'm within range. You probably didn't hear it, but the door just unlocked. Okay? Door's unlocked. And you'll see in the software, that just tracked on my existing access control. It showed Quinn Coford with my card number 12345 just unlocked the door at this time, because it's all just going right down the same data lines that you have installed for whatever access control you have. Okay, and that's the app. Very, very simple, very, very user-friendly, and now they have virtual credentials. Okay, again, the goal of this webinar was to explain to you, here's how we have to look at it in a couple different chunks. You have the hardware that will install on any access control system, wiegand or standalone. Most sites are going to be wiegand. Into their existing infrastructure, not replacing anything, not changing anything. Just adding this little device. I can't remember where I put it. I put it over there. Okay? So you've got the hardware. That's how you do that. You've got the web portal. The web portal allows you to assign card numbers to users, which are then input into your existing access control. And you have the app. The app is used by your technicians to adjust the power, set a dealer code, all of those things. And then for the end user to push the button, and if the access control panel says they're allowed in at this time, to let them in. Okay? Questions?
First, you've got a lot of comments on your hair.
Yeah, hair comments. I love them.
And Sam says, I've noticed different read distances with other BLE readers. Just curious if you have noticed the same with this product.
Okay, good question. So the question was, if you couldn't hear Alex, they've noticed different read ranges on BLE products, if we've noticed the same. BLE, yes, to answer your question, BLE can be kind of sporadic in the way that it works. Ours, you can adjust the range, but at the end of the day, you might set it for something and be like, oh, that should be about 10 feet. And you might have some big obstruction, so it gets it down to 3 feet, and so you crank up the range. I can tell you this, getting a longer distance through obstruction, BLE has come a long way. We've tested this through obstruction at like 60 to 70 feet. That is, with our device installed inside this door, metal, wood, and then me going outside of the training room, shutting the doors, we're getting 60 to 70 feet. And in the corner of that card, you can see what the range is. But yeah, it can adjust a little, it can be a little bit hit or miss on the range. But in all of the tests we've done, we've never missed a send, right? We're not sitting here like, come on, open, open, open. Never, never. It always gets it the first time, and I've been at, like I said, 70 feet, 60 feet, 30 feet, 20 feet, 1 foot. It works every time. Ours is very reliable in that sense. Really good question. Okay, that's all I had. But please ask questions. I'm telling you right now, if you're not doing anything, call your sales rep and be like, hey, how much does this cost? Because you're going to be blown away with the price of it. We have devices coming in. Well, with everything going on right now, timelines can be different, but we've been told 2 weeks. We will have hardware here ready to sell. The web portal is done. Sign up for that and get pricing from your sales rep. But please, what questions do you have for me? We got another question.
Sam, did I hear correct that credentials are reusable?
Yeah. So the way that our pricing model works is we figure most people are going to be wanting to reuse their cards quite a bit. So we've priced it in the way where they are total. If they buy 100, if they use 10 of those and those 10 people leave, they leave the business or wherever they are, they go back into their pool to be reused. So yes, they are reusable once they are no longer attached to a device, which you can take away that access on our web portal in 10 seconds. Okay? Okay, so what I'll do is we're still going to be running. I'm going to jump off camera because I got to go look at my hair in the mirror. But I will still be here looking at questions and we'll answer them. So please ask me any questions that you have. Exciting product, and we're really excited about it. Thank you guys for your time. We'll stick around here and answer any questions you have. Thanks. Okay, we got another question?
Yeah. The PIN option, does card and PIN need to be programmed in access control software?
The PIN option, does card and PIN need to be programmed in the access control software, or is it just for the mobile unit? Every feature of our app has to be verified through their existing access control. So if you're just doing most places are just going to do a card. So in that case, you just press the icon of the card, it'd go through and just pass the serial number of that device that you've created. If you have a site that wants to do card plus PIN, which would be dual authentication is the term they use, then that has to be programmed in the access control. So what our system is doing is sending the serial number of the card. So you press the card, it sends that serial number, and then the access control system sees that and now is looking for a PIN. So then you'd open our PIN pad, type in your PIN code, and press send, and now it's sending it down the line. But all of that information is at the access control panel. The access control is what's looking for that. Okay, we got another question. The question is, does the app need to be running on the phone? No, our app, well, I guess, let me answer that two ways because I'm not sure I understand the question. The app does not run in the background, so we are not draining your battery. We are not draining your battery. So the app's not on in the background, so we're not draining your battery. In order to send your information down, you open the app and press our card button, which will probably change over time. There'll probably be some other ways you can do it, but right now we feel the most secure way is by having someone have to open their phone and push the app to get through. But our app is not running in the background and not draining battery. If my customer buys a block of cards, can I just send them to the manager, or do I as a dealer need to assign each card to the end user? And then we have another question. Oh, we've got these coming in hot. Just one second. Got a lot of questions coming in. Hold on, guys. Let me read the first one. If my customer buys a block of cards, can I just send them to the manager, or do I need to assign each card to the end user? Okay, another good question. As the dealer and the manager of as the dealer and the person in charge of all your installations, if you have a site call in, we'll stick with Fence Tech. If Fence Tech calls in and orders 100 virtual credentials, all you have to do is assign a block, and you do it in blocks. You can assign one if you want. No one's really ever going to order one. But you would assign a block, and then that would show up on their site. So they would see that we've been granted 100 virtual credentials to Fence Tech. So when they sign it, when Fence Tech admin signs in, they're going to see they have 100 block, and then it's their job, if you want, for them at the property to assign it to their users. You as a dealer are not responsible to add it to each end user. You can if you want, because our software is so customizable, you can do it. But most places are going to get the call, hey, I need 100 cards. Okay, I just dropped in a block of 100. You can now assign them to your users. And it's that easy. Okay. Next question. Is it like PAL with a yearly phone number fee? This does not have a SIM card in it, so there's no fee for a phone number. No, this is connected. Basically, and I don't want my engineer to ever think I'd call him dumb, because I'm just not that kind of person. But this is a dumb device, right? It is looking for the app to say, here's the serial number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now it's pushing it through the existing line to the access control panel to make the decision. We are not the access control panel. We are just a simple device in line of their access control to allow for virtual credentials. So no, there's no yearly fee for any phone number or anything like that. The way the credentials are priced, are priced, there can be a fee for those, but you'll have to talk to your sales rep for that because we don't talk about pricing online. Another question, how is the communication done between the unit and the app? Brian, can you maybe and it says my responses are double feeding. All right, let me move away from the computer here. Brian, can you explain that question a little bit more? How is the communication done between the unit and the app? I'm not sure I understand it. Do you mean between the piece of hardware and the app? So I'll answer it the way I think you're looking for an answer, but if I'm wrong, Brian, just let me know. You won't hurt my feelings. You would hurt my feelings if you said my haircut was ugly, but not if you say my answer's dumb. So it's a AES 128-bit encryption, so it's extremely secure, and it is passing just the information from your phone, Bluetooth, to the hardware with the facility code. If you've set one and the serial number, then we'll pass through the data lines. I'm not sure if that answers it, if you're looking for the encryption or what, and I may need to get more information depending on how technical the question is. Let me know, Brian. I hear each purchase comes with a tuft of your hair. Is this true? Always. Have you tried this on a vehicle gate? How is the range from inside a vehicle? Really good question. I'll read the question again. Have you tried this on a vehicle gate? How is the range from inside a vehicle? So I have tested this inside a car, and the range was good. Again, that can kind of be, I guess that good is relative. It is not going to get the same range as a handheld remote in many cases because those can get hundreds of feet, and Bluetooth was just not built that way. But the range is good. Like I said, 90, 80 feet, somewhere around there. But again, it always depends on the obstruction. It depends on the installation. If you have it inside a metal box, inside the gate operator, you're probably not going to get very good range, even if your power is turned all the way up. Now, if it's inside a plastic box or mounted outside the gate operator, you're probably going to get pretty good range. So yeah, the range, honestly, John, I've tested the heck out of the range. So have our engineers. I was worried about it because years and years ago when we first started looking at Bluetooth, the range was not great. Bluetooth has come a long way, and the range is a lot better and extremely reliable. But it does depend on obstruction and the application, but the range is really good. I'm really, really happy with the range. Let's just say this, I've always stopped walking because I've gotten the range that I wanted. Another question, the SynQ unit, does it communicate standalone with app? Brian, you've got really good questions. Let me read this again. The SynQ unit, does it communicate standalone with the app? Can you explain that one a little bit more, Brian, as well? Do you mean, do we have a standalone feature that would basically turn it into a full access control? Just explain that a little bit more for me so I can make sure I get the answer right for you. So Brian, I think I understand your question too. Let me answer it this way. So the phone is talking directly to your phone, and our app is talking directly to that piece of hardware. Okay, so that's why we have the encryption, to make sure that it's a secure encryption. It's not looking for anything else outside to interfere with it, but the phone is talking directly to the piece of hardware. Okay, so we got another question. The question is, how do we sign up as a SynQ dealer on the web server? So for right now, send me an email. I'll have Alex post my email address in the chat box there, and we will send you an invite into your inbox. So if you want to get signed up for the time being, send me an email, and I'll get you signed up. You'll get a link in your inbox that will tell you the steps that you need to follow to get signed up. Then Josh said, it looks like we need to be invited to the web portal. Yeah, Josh, that's right. So send me an email if you want to get signed up, and we'll send you an invite where you'll be able to get signed up. And then you'll see everything that I see in there. You'll be able to create companies, add users, do all of those things. And I'll give each of you 1 or 2 cards just so you can see how that works as you mess around with it and get familiar with it. But send me an email and we'll get you invited. John asks a question. If I purchase a block of cards for my techs, can I use them on multiple properties? John, that is a really good question, and I think I know the answer, but I'm going to give you what I think it is, and then John, send me an email because I'm going to reach out to my team and ask them just to make sure. But the reason for that dealer code is to make it so that you have access to all of your sites. So yes, I believe as long as when you have a card, you can specify where you use those through your dealer code, which gives you access to those properties. So yeah, I believe the answer is yes, but let me follow up just to make sure. But that is what the dealer code is for, so that you can basically lock down your properties so someone can't come in behind you, but also get your techs in on those properties and to be able to manage those properties. But I will find out for sure. So John, please send me an email so I can get back to you on that.